Nagsamahan ng ACT with Secretary Angara. Very accommodating. Yung kanyang mga bills related to welfare, salary of teachers, ay talaga namang sinusuportahan niya ng mga teachers. Ngayong secretary na siya, mukhang mas maganda ito kaysa nung nakaraan. Nakita naman natin, mamaya yung performance sa COA, malalaman natin. So, talagang wini-welcome naman po ng mga teachers, Secretary Angara. Okay? Kaya lang, Mr. Chair, nakakalungkot, medyo iniwanan siya ng maraming problema ni Vice President Sara Duterte. Lalong-lalo na po itong matatag curriculum, Mr. Chair, gusto ko lang malaman, direkta na to, although pinag-uusapan na namin ito sa Committee on Basic Education, pero gusto ko pa rin direktang masabi kay Secretary Angara, yung nagiging problema ng teachers dito sa iniwan na problematic na curriculum ng nakaraang administration, Mr. Chair, kaugnay doon sa 7 to 8 loads ng mga teachers natin sa high school, Mr. Chair. So, kailangan talaga, Madam Chair, kailangan talagang immediately i-review ito. Biro niyo po, Mr. Chair, and Madam Chair and Mr. Secretary, 7 to 8 loads ang mga teachers. Ibig sabihin nito sa high school, nagtuturo sila ng tipo 45 minutes na ang haba-haba po, no, nung talagang minaximize po yung 6 hours. Gusto rin ko pong linawin itong National Mathematics Program at saka yung National Reading Program po. Kailangan malinaw din po ito kasi doon sa inilabas na frequently asked questions, nandito pa rin po ito. Pangalawa, yung implementation ng matatag curriculum ay in phase dapat yun, Mr. Chair, pero parang fully in-implement this school year. Kaya hirap na hirap yung ating mga teachers maka-cope up dito sa ini-implement na ito. Baka pwedeng i-suspend itong matatag curriculum. Anyway, Mr. Chair, Mr. Secretary, hindi niyo naman ito program, no? Iniwanan kayo ng nakaraang administration ng ganitong problema. Ngayon, yung mga teachers talaga natin ay talagang problematic dito. Sobrang pahirap itong matatag curriculum, sabi nila, Mr. Chair.
Yes, Secretary.
Magandang umaga. Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Congresswoman Castro, sa magandang nasabi niyo po. And thank you din po kay Cong Rufus dun sa kanyang motion. Madam Chair, ang thinking dito ang pag-iisip namin dito sa matatag curriculum, yung sa 45-minute lessons, dahil na ma-maximize po yung learning time at yun daw ang optimal na learning time for a student to learn. Pero nakikinig, nung nagkonsulta ho kami, and after implementing the matatag curriculum for the last few weeks, mukhang there is a need to inject flexibility ho sa curriculum. So, nakinig ho kami sa ground, nahihirapan yung ibang teachers sa ibang eskwelahan. So, meron kaming piniprepare na department order to inject flexibility, meaning balik tayo dun sa 6 na tigo 1 hour, depending na sa school setting ho, ma'am. So, yun po ang naisip namin. At we're just going to hold maybe 1 or 2 more consultations. But there is already a draft department order on this. Nakinig ho kami dun sa hinaing ng ating mga teachers. Thank you po.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Madam Chair. Sa elementary po, grade 1, 2, and 3, na hindi lumilipat ng classroom, okay lang siguro yung 40-45. Pero sa mga intermediate, grade 4 hanggang grade 10 o hanggang grade 12, lumilipat siya ng classroom. Kaya yung si teacher. Kaya makikita nyo sa mga memes, talagang lumilipad si mga teacher, nagbumotor na, mga joke lang. So, yun po yung problema natin. So, I'm glad, no, maibabalik, magiging flexible. So, yun po yung inaantay na nasagot ng ating mga teachers. Ito pong NMP at saka yung NRP, pwede bang pakilinaw po ito, Madam Chair?
Secretary.
Thank you, Cong Castro. Ang sabi is maglalabas po kami ng polisiya dyan, but maybe Yusek Gonong can further explain the thinking behind this and where we are right now. Yusek Gina.
Thank you, Sec. Madam Chair, Your Honor, yung National Reading at saka National Math Program po, given the feedback from the field on our previous programs like Catch Up Fridays, yung draft po namin ng reading at saka math programs, kailangan pa po namin idaan uli sa isang pang-konsultasyon para hindi na po maulit yung lahat ng mga hindi magandang feedback na nangyari dun sa ating Catch-Up Fridays.
I know, yung NMP tsaka NRP po. Ano
Apo.
po yung plano ninyo doon?
Apo.
Alam ko meron kayong dialogue ngayon with the teachers and other
Bukas po.
stakeholders. Bukas. Okay, so ano po yung plano dito? Kasi magiging parang ang magiging nito po, magiging parang Catch-Up Friday din. Yun ang magiging kalalabasan nitong NMP tsaka NRP.
Your Honor, we are following your suggestions and the suggestions of others to provide flexibilities also in the implementation of the National Reading and the National Math Program. So katulad po ng sinabi nyo nung mga nakaraang hearing, pwede ang isang flexibility niyan ay integrated sa time allotment ng math at saka English, ang ating math at saka reading program. Pwede rin pong gawin yung pull-out strategy kung kaya naman ng mga schools, or pwede din po ang additional time allotment kung kaya po ng ibang mga schools. So we're giving flexibilities, ma'am, based on our discussions with you and others. Salamat po.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Second po, ito na po yung exciting part. Yung mga COA report po at saka yung COA observation as regard to computerization. Medyo mahalaga sa akin to, Madam Chair and Mr. Secretary, dahil gusto natin talaga mabigyan talaga ng mga laptop, no? Mga computer yung ating mga teachers. Okay? So, according to the observation of COA, Madam Chair, report page 229, DepEd CAR 2023, nakalagay po diyan yung observation ng COA regarding doon sa computerization program ng 2023. Medyo mahabang banggitin, kulang na po ako sa time. Can the DepEd please update us on the status of its various computerization programs? So alam ko may mga delays according dito sa COA report. So pwede po bang magbigay yung particularly po yung DCP, no? Nakalagay dito letter A ay a delay, non-delivery, and inefficiency of 3PL services provider, delivery to regions not included in the allocation list, DCP packages were not stored. Nandiyan po yan sa page 229, DepEd CAR 2023. So, pwede po ba tayo ma-update, Mr. Chair, kaugnay dito sa computerization program ng DepEd?
Secretary, please.
Yes, Madam Chair, this was before my time. With your permission, I will ask some of the undersecretaries, our Undersecretary for Legal, Yusek Omar Romero, to discuss that. That's a transpac, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. Yusek Romero, you're
Yes, thank you, Secretary. Thank you, Madam Chair, Mr. Chair. Yes, in response to the question, the observation of the COA.
And the amount is really huge or big because of the accumulated accounts from the school, division, regions, and the central office. But as of today, Madam Chair, ay wala po tayo na natanggap sa COA na rejoinder or anything else na dapat mong gawin from our end. In fact, ongoing din po ang GSIS reconciliation natin in the national headquarters of the GSIS. Pinapupunta na po natin yung mga division offices at saka mga regional offices doon sa GSIS headquarters or main office para po makatch up natin yung mga unreconciled remittances na ito po.
That will be the last question from Representative Castro.
Last manifestation and
yes,
I
please,
manifest
quickly.
for second and third round.
Noted.
So, Madam Chair, so kailangan natin makakuha ng listahan nito, no, ng mga teachers na affected, especially sa mga regions. Dahil lalabas na naman po dyan, may mga magre-retire na mga teacher na makikita doon sa kanilang record na ganito, hindi nakapag-remit, di ka nakapagbayad, na ang problema po ay nasa DepEd, Madam Chair, tsaka ng GSIS. So, kailangan natin makuha, no, yung report nung mga regions na yan. At sana, hindi sa teacher tatama, no, yung magiging penalty o surcharge. So, yun lang po, Madam Chair. Thank you po.
Madam Chair, we will furnish the list to Congresswoman Castro.
Thank you.
In as much as we have the motion was retracted, I would like to, in my own way, honor our time tradition if the good secretary would allow, I would just direct my questions to his undersecretaries.
Certainly. Thank you, Congressman Raj Gutierrez.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I'd like to direct my question to the Undersecretary for Curriculum and Teaching.
Yusek Gonong, you're recognized.
Madam Chair, I made that manifestation because my questions will mostly be about the utilization of 2022 and 2023. Now, Madam Chair, based on reports, on November 21, 2023, the DepEd celebrated Araw ng Pagbasa, and this was spearheaded by the Bureau of Learning Delivery under the Curriculum and Teaching. Is that correct, Madam Chair?
That's correct, Madam Chair.
And during that event, Madam Chair, this was celebrated with the launching of Isang Kaibigan. It was held in a public elementary school in Quezon City. Is that correct, Madam Chair?
That's correct, Madam Chair.
So, Madam Chair, as the USEC being responsible for curriculum and teaching, and by that line of logic, yung Bureau of Learning Delivery, may we ask po, kayo po ba yung responsible for the production of this book, yung Isang Kaibigan?
Madam Chair, hindi po.
What is the role of the curriculum and teaching strand po in the production and development of Isang Kaibigan? I understand this was a project of the former secretary. Is that correct, Madam Chair?
Yes, Madam Chair. Wala pong role ang Department of Education sa development, reproduction, or printing of Isang Kaibigan storybook.
Thank you. Madam Chair, so as per reports, the illustrators were a certain Janina Simbilio and Joseph Kaliner of the Creative Media Unit, Public Affairs of the Service of the Department. Is this report erroneous, Madam Chair?
Madam Chair, I have no knowledge of that.
No knowledge. Madam Chair, under what department po kaya itong Public Affairs Service of the DepEd?
With your permission, Madam Chair, the two are employees of the Public Affairs Service Division of the Department, Your Honor.
They are employees.
Yes, but there is no payment made to them for whatever they did. So it's either they made it gratis or for free, or they were paid on the side. We don't really know because there's no record official payment to them. But just for the record, they are employees, job order employees of the Public Affairs Service. Is that a bureau?
Service.
Public Affairs Service of the DepEd, Your Honor.
Madam Chair, thank you very much, Mr. Secretary, and apologies you had to answer that. But thank you for the confirmation. So the book there was a hand in the development of the book by employees of the DepEd, although it is probably by gratis or unrelated to their official functions of the DepEd. So that's something to note. So hindi po naman erroneous yung statement ng report na yun. So Madam Chair, prior to its launch, it would be said then that what is the knowledge of the good Undersecretary about this book? Was it the first time for her to find out about Isang Kaibigan during the launching itself? Because it was mentioned na wala po silang kinalaman sa development, but surely, perhaps in the procurement or in the preparation of the program, they have had some knowledge of this book.
Yung particular book po, nakita lang namin noong launch, but we know that she's going to read. Kasi po yung program na Araw ng Pagbasa, we do that yearly. And we invite reading ambassadors. So, minsan mga kilalang mga tao, mga officials ng DepEd, nagbabasa po yan sa mga schools. And they can choose the storybook that they're going to read. So, in this Araw ng Pagbasa in a Quezon City school, ang binasa ni VP ay yung kanyang story.
I see. So, at the time po, Madam Chair, as per the yearly event that you would have, yung reading ambassador is the former secretary.
Hindi naman po. Iba-iba po, kasama secretaries, kasama ang mga undersecretaries, assistant secretaries, regional directors, lahat po ini-invite namin actually na maging reading ambassador.
But in that instance, at least for Isang Kaibigan, that was the former secretary and that was her choice of book. Her book, Isang Kaibigan.
Yes, Your Honor.
Madam Chair, is there no role on the part of the DepEd to curate what book would be read for Isang Pagbasa? They leave it totally at the discretion of the reading ambassador po ba?
Yes po. We ask the reading ambassadors to pick a book that they want to read as long as the book is appropriate to the level of the learners.
In that case po, Madam Chair, how many reproductions of the book would be required for a public reading? Because you mentioned this was not part of the DepEd, so hindi po kayo yung nag-produce ng book na ito.
Hindi po. It's a big book po. So, kahit na isang book lang po, merong 10 students halimbawa sa harapan ng reading ambassador, malaki yung book, may mga pictures yung book, so yung reader reads the book na nakikita ng mga bata yung illustrations ng book.
Madam Chair, but if I recall correctly, and perhaps we can have the Secretariat pull up a picture later on, there were actually multiple copies of the book and each child was holding one. So I would assume that there was some preparation on the part of the department regarding this event.
There was a preparation regarding the event, Your Honor, but the distribution of textbooks wasn't done by the Department of Education. The printing, the distribution wasn't done by DepEd.
But for the case of that instance po, that event, then there were multiple copies of the book. Wala pong alam po yung curriculum and teaching.
Na alam po
As to
namin na
I
may
mean,
mga...
about how
Sorry
many
po.
books were prepared for that particular event. I understand, Madam Chair, the answer na wala pong kinalaman yung department in the production, supposedly, and development of the book. But we just wanted to know for that particular event.
Ang alam ko po, konting-konting copies lang po ang na-ready noon. Kasi nangihingi nga rin po ako ng copy noon, hindi rin po ako nabigyan. Kasi konti lang talaga para dun lang sa mga estudyante na umatendong reading session.
So, Madam Chair, okay, thank you. Just to clarify po, no, so no public funds were used in the production of the book. It was not come under any line item, and therefore did not also go through any of the quality assurance and accreditation required under the DepEd. None of that po.
That is correct, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, my next question po, I'm not sure which USEC would be appropriate, but I'd like to ask about our learning tools and equipment program, Madam Chair.
It's still used Segonong, Congressman.
Thank you very
Gutierrez.
much, Mr. Secretary. Madam Chair, I'd just like to ask, what steps are being implemented to improve the planning and execution of DepEd's programs to avoid future underutilization of funds? Because I understand yung LTE program po natin medyo underutilized po. Tama po ba?
Yes, Your Honor. Una pong step na ginagawa namin ay yung early procurement activity. So, starting this year, nagpe-prepare na po kami para sa early procurement activities ng ating mga learning tools and equipment.
Okay. Thank you. So on the learning tools and equipment program specifically, why did the LTE program have such low obligation and disbursement rates? And I believe it's respectively 40.9% and 10.98% between 2021 and 2023. I understand the good secretary has just assumed the position, but we are hoping that the undersecretaries would perhaps have some institutional memory of these past budget years po, no?
Madam Chair, usually po yan ay dahil sa mga failed procurement po natin, failed biddings po natin.
Okay, Madam Chair, I had further line understand 30 seconds po ba yun? Okay. Last question po siguro, just to sum it up. Are there specific challenges or barriers that the DepEd faces in implementing the LTE program, and how can Congress help in this case? I understand procurement is a problem for any agency, but this one seems particularly troublesome po, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair, so ang pagtitignan ko po lahat ng issue, I can sum up the issue in terms of procurement issues po talaga.
Could you
Sa mga nagpi-fail po ang bidding ng mga learning tools and equipment namin.
Madam Chair, could you at least give us more details? I mean, it could be a number of things. It could be a lack of number of bidders. It could be failure to, to reach certain standards set up. Are our standards too stringent? Is it not public information made readily available? It could be a number of factors. It's very hard for us to just simply leave it as procurement problems. I hope you understand, Madam Yusek, that we're here to look for solutions.
Yes, Madam Chair, minsan po kailangan naming mag-recalibrate ng aming mga technical specifications. Kasi yung available sa market, halimbawa, hindi naman natatarget doon sa tech specs namin. So, nagkakaroon kami ng mga adjustments. Meron ding mga kailangan din naming mag-adjust ng mga quantities ng mga pinoprocure namin na LTE kasi nagkakaroon ng minsan tumataas yung cost ng mga LTE.
With your permission, Madam Chair, if I may supplement the answer given by our Undersecretary. Ito po kasing, yung learning packages, there's so many different kinds. Ho. So, may baking package ho, for those who taking baking courses sa TVET. Meron din po yung bartending. So, one package is an amalgam or a combination of several items. So, it could be glasses, mixers, etc. So, medyo mahirap din talaga i-combine ho. So, I don't think there are that many takers sa field ho. And but really, we are exerting efforts to improve our procurement and speed things up, Your Honor.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Seeing as I've had my time is up, I'll be concluding my interpellation. Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Thank you, Madam Chair. And we would like to express our support, and we support this sunny and bright future of the DepEd. Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Gusto ko lang pong i-highlight yung isa sa mga na bring forth po kanina na finding na ang dating DepEd Secretary po as Vice President, meron siyang children's book project. Tapos ang kanyang tinapa para gumawa ng illustrations para dun sa children's book ay yung mga employees pa na under sa Department of Education. Parang hindi po ito ang first time na pinaghahalo po niya ang dalawang ahensya under her leadership. Tapos ngayon pa nga ay merong ganitong additional example. So hindi dapat ito i-take note lightly ng komite na ito, lalo na't nanghihingi pa nga ng additional budget para dun sa children's book na iyon, given na may ganitong hindi magandang history pala ang ganong proyekto, Madam Chair. So, to proceed dun sa ilang mga points ko on the Department of Education, Madam Chair, na-mention din kasi kanina yung matatag curriculum, and even Congressman Rufus Rodriguez mentioned na may mga subjects talaga na hindi pwedeng pinaghahalo-halo. Kasi po, Madam Chair, ang gusto nga po ni Kong Rufus yung PE dapat talaga hiwalay. Pero ngayon nga, at least yung naabutan ko, Madam Chair, yung PE kasama siya dun sa MAPE, na Music, Arts, P, and Health. Pero ngayon po sa matatag curriculum, pati po yung MAPE at yung Araling Panlipunan, minerge pa. So, paano na lang po yung pagtuturo ng bawat specific subject? And I think mula naman sa interpellation ni Kong Franz, meron namang ways moving forward yung DepEd. Sana lang po talaga ma-incorporate yung ganitong mga observations kasi nga ang hirap na ma-ensure yung quality ng pagkaturo sa bawat subject kung parang blob sila na naghahalo-halo. Also, ito Madam Chair, on peace education. So, any official of DepEd po can answer. Gusto lang po nating malaman ano po ang objectives at ano po yung meat ng peace education na tinuturo ng department.
Salamat. Magandang umaga po, Congressman Manuel. Unahin na po natin yung PISA. Yung intention natin dito is, if I'm not mistaken, sa pagkaintindi ko yung PISA is to enhance a learner's critical skills as well as his ability to be analytical and to approach a problem from several aspects, meaning one question can challenge his reading, his math, and his science capabilities. Parang real life situation. Hindi naman nakakahon sa math, sa science when you face a problem in real life. So that's my understanding of the OECD exam PISA. So what we're doing is we're trying to have our education also try to be multidimensional in that sense, Your Honor, para matugunan niya yung mga ganong klaseng exams. Dahil parang and also it seems that there is a focus on certain types of awareness, meaning environmental awareness and other problems, climate change, among others. So I think it's also crucial to enhance that in our learners. Tapos also, yung mababa nating performance dahil karamihan sa mga bata natin hindi marunong gumamit ng computer. I was told, yung mga kumuha ng 2022, first time nilang humawak ng mouse, computer mouse, kaya medyo nataranta sila. So what we want is this early, we will get as many of them with access and practice on computers to actually take the test on computers. And there's also the problem of language. Dahil some take the test in their native language, pero there is no PISA test in Filipino as of yet, if I'm not mistaken, Your Honor. So English ho siya. So these are some of the PISA aspects and the demands on our learners. Doon naman ho sa pagsasama ho ng mga subject, yung thinking ho kasi dito is sana ma-decongest or ma-declutter yung ating curriculum so we can focus on yung tinatawag na foundational skills na literacy and numeracy, reading, writing, math. So that's why kaya pinagsama ho yung ibang mga subject. Pero tama ho kayo na yung isa sa mga pinakamahalagang tinuturo sa ating curriculum ay yung kasaysayan. Kaya sisiguraduhin natin na hindi mawawala yan, at kung may suggestion po kayo na i-enhance yung ating curriculum at all levels from kinder up even up to senior high school, this would be most welcome, Your Honor.
Yeah. Thank you, Madam Chair. Doon po sa matatag curriculum din, lalo under the former leadership of DepEd, doon po na-introduce kasi yung parang special siya na topic, yung peace education, yung paano daw tinuturo yung maging promoters, no, ng pagkakasundo, yun, kapayapaan yung ating mga estudyante. So sa ngayon po ba sumusulong na itong pagtuturo ng peace education? Tapos ano po ang nilalaman ng ganong topic?
Yes, Your Honor, Madam Chair. The peace education is incorporated in certain learning areas in Araling Panlipunan, in good manners and right conduct, as well as values education. But maybe with your permission, I'll ask Yusek Gina Gonong to expound.
Thank you,
Yusek Gonong,
Sec.
your recognized.
Madam Chair, yung peace education po ay naka-integrate sa ating mga learning areas. Kasama po dito halimbawa sa early grades yung self-awareness, yung building a community. Pagdating naman po sa mga higher grade levels, ang ini-integrate po natin na peace ed concepts dyan, yung security, disaster risk reduction, yan po ang mga kasama sa peace education.
Okay. Madam Chair, can we request the department to furnish our office and the committee copies of modules or learning materials na related po doon sa peace education?
We will do that, Your Honor, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Also, in connection, since meron pong noong 2019, DepEd Order number 32, ito yung National Policy Framework on Learners and Schools as Zones of Peace. We'd like to confirm na standing pa rin po ba ang ganitong DepEd Order?
May I ask that Yusek Escobedo be recognized? He's our Yusek for Operations, Madam Chair.
Yusek Escobedo, you're recognized.
Yeah, good morning, Madam Chair. Yung DO po on schools as zones of peace ay